Pro Wrestling is a show by the fans, for the fans. And I am your host, Conrad Kushman. And I wanted to get in here real quick for about 20 minutes to talk about Roman Reigns and Monday Night Raw and all the fallout from it. So if you guys could, if it's your first time visiting the channel, do me a favor. Make sure you leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. I also do regular videos giving reviews of all the shows for WWE. I try to do New Japan, Ring of Honor, Impact Wrestling, Ring of Honor, and Lucha Underground when I can. So make sure you guys keep it locked into the channel. But let's get into it now. And we're going to start here. We're going to have some gameplay here in the background. And let's do... I'm going to do a triple threat match here inside of the steel cage. Hopefully you get to show off some of the new stuff in the cage matches. But let's talk about Monday Night Raw right away, guys. How crazy was it, everything that happened with Roman Reigns? Now, as you guys know, I've always been a big Roman Reigns fan, and I really respect all the stuff that Roman Reigns has always done. I always thought he always had a great look, and I thought his in-ring skills weren't that bad. Roman Reigns announced yesterday that his battle with leukemia has came back, and I didn't even know that he had an original battle with it, so that's how hush-hush he kept it. And unfortunately, Roman Reigns is going to have to deal with that, and that sucks, man. Cancer is a horrible thing, and I don't know how many people have dealt with stuff like that, but I can't even say I have. I don't know what it's like to deal with leukemia or any type of cancer to that nature. And I know there's people out there who have, and it's just never something pleasant, and I wouldn't wish that upon anybody. I don't wish injuries upon anyone. Like, that stuff is just wrong. And I do see some people on the internet acting a little crazy about things. And I don't think that's the right way to go about things. Let's be respectful of the situation and have respect for Roman Reigns. But when Roman Reigns was out there, man, Seth Rollins tearing up, a lot of that stuff got to me a little bit watching it. It was just a very sad situation for all parties involved. I mean, I don't know, man. It's just real sad. And it's crazy that they spent all that time trying to make Roman Reigns like the biggest star that you could make him. And what happens? This happens right now when he's in his prime of his career and he's trying to do his thing. I don't know. It sucks. Like I said, I'm going to keep saying that. Cancer sucks. No one should ever have to go through that, and I hope one day that we find a way in this world to get rid of all cancers and anything that causes hurt to people like that. That's just not cool, man, and that's not the way anyone wants to go out. So, Roman Reigns, I hope you kick cancer's ass, and I wish you nothing but the best, my friend. That sucks. Now, before we get into everything else here, what does this lead to after you look at all of the other options? And I have all the music and stuff off and audio just so you guys know. That suggestion came from my good friend Mike Cross, so we'll get into it. So what comes of all of this with Roman Reigns announcing the leukemia and the whole situation? In my opinion, Roman Reigns is stuck, basically trying to figure out what's he going to do for his family, how is this going to impact him, but he seems like it's not going to affect him. He made it clear that it's not a retirement speech. It is himself, and himself basically announcing that he's going to fight this, and it seems like he has a big idea as far as how do I want to put this, that he's going to come back and fight this, and it looks like there are plans already in place for people just to make people more aware of leukemia and how he could raise money for it. He wasn't doing that before, and much respect to Roman Reigns for doing that. It took a lot of courage to come out on television and say that, because I'm a very private person, and sometimes you just got to open up for those situations. Yes. So, hi, my nephew's here. Hi, what's up, buddy? She's calling me? Oh, well, tell her I'm doing my live stream. Thanks, buddy. Tell her to text message me. Yeah. So, as we get into that, guys, we get into a few other things dealing with Monday Night Raw. So after that was announced, we get into Finn Balor, Bobby Lashley. Monday Night Raw was turned upside down when you look at everything, guys. Monday Night Raw had a bunch of different things occur and happen that made a big difference. You had people who were... Yes. Okay. Thank you. So, Monday Night Raw, guys, had a lot of people switching their spots up. All of their plans basically had to be crumpled up and thrown out. So, Roman Reigns was their top guy. There's a void to be filled, and a lot of these guys are going to be hungry. Yes, you're sad for Roman Reigns, and that's the last thing that you want to have happen to anybody, I promise you. When the Shield were all up there and they were crying, if you look at Rollins' face with the tears coming down, Roman covering his eyes so you can't see the tears, and Dean Ambrose holding back the tears, it's a real tearjerker. And you have all these other guys now. Where do you go from here? What happens? WWE had to change plans completely, and this night we'll talk about it and get into it real quick, guys. If you guys are in the broadcast live, do me a favor, just make sure you're throwing in something on there, and we can talk about it. If there's some subjects that you want to talk about, we'll do it for sure. And the big dog has already won a match here in the steel cage match. That was pretty quick and amazing. So, as we get into this match, Finn Balor, Bobby Lashley. I want to know how people feel about the Bobby Lashley heel stuff. I mean, is it interesting to you guys? I think Lio Rush is doing a great job, but at some point, Lio Rush is kind of annoying, but that's his goal as well. So I'm interested in seeing how the pairing pans out and what they can end up doing for them later. I always felt Bobby Lashley wasn't doing it for me as a babyface. Just me talking. But Bobby Lashley's done a much better job, as we've stated before, right now dealing with this. Finn Balor. Finn Balor is put into a better position himself. He's going to be able to figure out a way to possibly build his momentum back up, I hope. That would be good for him. And if Finn can get that momentum back, maybe he can get back into the Intercontinental or Universal Championship picture right now. Because Finn is not doing a bad job. I just want his character to be better. That's just my opinion on it. Hey, what's going on, guys? We're talking Monday Night Raw right now. We're on Finn Balor, Bobby Lashley real quick. I'm trying to do this until about 1 o'clock. So if you guys want to talk, feel free. But we're talking Monday Night Raw, Finn Balor. I was trying to get if people are digging this Lio Rush, Bobby Lashley duo. If that's something worth anyone's time, let me know. If you guys think it's cool, I'd be interested in hearing what you guys think of it. But yeah, so I think it's a good thing for Bobby Lashley and Finn Balor. It opens up the doors, like I said. Nothing's going to be hurt by any of this. You have a lot of potential, and I mean, I don't know. To me, there's nothing bad that could come from it. You were already in a dead-end spot if you're both of them, and you're being bumped up. Perfect. And Lio Rush is getting television time on a main show. After that, we see Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre. They're backstage talking about Braun Strowman. Drew says he's going monster hunting. When I see Drew McIntyre, guys, I say this every single week, but Drew McIntyre is... Hey, what's up, Flood? Flood is not a fan of Lio Rush, apparently. But Drew McIntyre is a freaking main eventer, guys. I'm telling you. I like this guy's look. And me and Flood, who's actually in the chat commenting right now, me and Flood were actually watching Monday Night Raw together last night, and it was just a sad situation with the Roman Reigns stuff. And Drew McIntyre's the main eventer, period. I don't know what's going to happen with Dolph Ziggler after this, but Drew's got to get into that main event. That's just how I personally feel about it. Share your thoughts if you guys care. We get to the next match, Sasha Banks versus Ruby Riott. I will say this, the Riott Squad has grown on me a little bit. I did not like their pairing at first. I felt like it was Absolution 2.0. According to my good friend Y2K, who's part of the Everything Pro Wrestling community. And I would have to agree with him to an extent. But now I feel like the Riott Squad is the better trio of the two. And everything makes sense with them. Like, I don't know. I just like this trio. There's just something about them I like. I don't know what it is. And they're starting to get that attitude of they believe in the faction. So I like it. There was some distraction. Ends up happening that Ruby Riott picks up the victory after hitting the Riott kick on Sasha Banks for the 3 count. There's going to be a 6-man tag match for Evolution. And if you guys aren't aware, Evolution, I will be doing a preview podcast that should be up at its latest tomorrow. And I want you guys to make sure you check it out. It's anchor.fm/EPW if you're looking for it, guys. Or you could go on iTunes, Spotify, type in Everything Pro Wrestling. You'll find us on there. Subscribe. Make sure you listen to all of the old stuff. We got good stuff in there. And I would like you guys to start writing in and asking questions too. So if you guys have anything for me, let me know. We get to a pre-tape from the Brothers of Destruction, cutting a promo on DX, yada, 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 the usual. Nia Jax has a promo as well for Evolution, and basically, don't let anyone limit you because of your gender. Here's the thing with Evolution, guys. I'm going to talk about it in the podcast, but I feel bad for this show because it's in the back burner compared to everything else. And I'm just going to leave it there for now and listen to the podcast if you want to hear more about that. We get back to Raw. DX comes out, and DX talks about Halloween, and it's the #1 movie right now, and how it's an old movie, but sometimes it's just a way to say better. And he means better than everyone else. He talks about the X in DX and how they're running another X that's the future of this company, which was an NXT reference. And Undertaker and Kane cut their same usual promo. Oh, you're going to rest in peace, yada, yada, yada. So they're hyping this match at Crown Jewel, and we still don't know where that event's going to be. So that's kind of clustery right now. And there's some more news that came out about the Saudi Arabian murder and everything else. I'm not trying to get too political on the show about it, guys, but if you want to, make sure you look it up. Next, we get into, let's see here, the broadcast team shows a replay of earlier in the night. They have Brock Lesnar and Braun Strowman looking like they're going to go one-on-one for the Universal title at Crown Jewel. The winner will become the Universal Champion. That looks pretty cool. What's up, guys? If you guys are in the live chat, feel free to throw me some messages, guys, and I will be more than happy to answer whatever I can. Paul Heyman comes into the ring with a microphone next, and when he was in the ring, he cut a very good promo about Roman Reigns. Much respect to Paul Heyman for that, and basically then hypes the match with Brock Lesnar and Braun Strowman, and how plans have changed, and Braun is not ready for Brock Lesnar. And remember, last time they fought, it only took one F5. Only one, and it's crazy. Peace on Raw kind of contradicts his SmackDown promo. Yeah, very true. Yeah, I hear you, Flood, on that one. Backstage, Dolph and Drew, they get approached. Drew says he doesn't believe in monsters. Braun comes and clears the cobwebs in his head, and he'll realize that they needed them more than he needed them. Whatever. Same usual stuff with Raw. Elias comes out for a song and says that we're all blessed to be here tonight. He leads the crowd with a Walk with Elias chants and tries to start a song, but Apollo Crews comes out and interrupts. And I thought this was going to be a big match for Crews, and they were going to start pushing him. No. After the drift away, 1, 2, 3, Elias wins. More of the same for Apollo Crews, losing and everything else, so we'll see what they do with him. But afterwards, we see a pre-tape from Kurt Angle backstage, and Elias, when we come back, is still on stage trying to do his song again. And Baron Corbin comes out to interrupt him to tell him that they have a lot of things to do and they don't have time for the song tonight. And basically boots Elias off the stage disrespectfully. And Baron Corbin ends up eating a guitar shot to his back for his troubles, and this is the beginning of a face turn for Elias. And you know what? I like Elias, and I think a babyface role for him is the best thing right now. On NXT, I could not stand Elias. He was not my favorite person to have to deal with. But in this instance, Elias is the man, and he's been getting babyface reactions. So good for him. We're going to skim through the rest of this, guys. We got Ronda Rousey coming out there for the contract signing, and she basically comes off as a real badass in the situation, getting slapped by Nikki Bella and smiling after promising not to hit her, and she never laid a finger on her and basically said that she's going to pay at WWE Evolution for what she did, and the Bella twins look on, so mind games and whatever else happened with it. We also have a match with Nia Jax, Ember Moon, Dana Brooke, and Tamina. Ember Moon ends up winning with the Eclipse on Tamina for the 3 count. Good match. Very sad that a lot of these women are put in a battle royal. And like I said, I'll save it for the podcast when we get into that later tonight or tomorrow. Just shaking my head. Dolph Ziggler, Drew McIntyre getting ready for their match. They do a Season G Coleman Foundation. Very touching with everything that happened earlier in the night. Titus O'Neil does an excellent job with all that stuff, and he is the perfect person to do that. So good job to Titus in the WWE for that stuff. Trish and Lita are backstage. They get into a brawl with Alicia Fox and Mickie James, and they show them how they do it in the Attitude Era, basically. And Trish and Lita show that they are ready for this fight at the pay-per-view at WWE Evolution with Mickie and Alexa. Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose make their way through the crowd with the Shield entrance, guys. And they come out, and when they dedicated their match to Roman Reigns earlier in the night, you knew the Shield might be winning this match. And they came through, and it was another amazing match, guys. The matches I was just getting tired of. It's not that the matches aren't amazing, it's just I'm tired of seeing the same old match. And for the tag titles, they have a great match. Ref bump. Braun comes out, chases Drew McIntyre through the crowd, and gets him out of there. Freaking amazing. Dolph Ziggler winds up eating the curb stomp. Ambrose throws the referee in the ring. 1, 2, 3. We have new tag team champions, guys. So after the match, Seth and Dean hug it out in the ring. They're celebrating with their tag belts, and out of nowhere, Dean Ambrose kicks Seth Rollins in the midsection and hits the dirty deeds on him. Rollins is getting up, and Ambrose starts pummeling him and yelling at him. Ambrose looked like a freaking lunatic when you were watching this. I couldn't believe that this heel turn happened. I just was in shock that they did it after they just won the tag titles. And after what happened with Roman earlier in the night, I thought that this was impossible to happen. And Ambrose then goes out to the floor, pummels Rollins some more, pulls back the protective padding, and then exposes the concrete on the floor by the ringside area, and then DDT Seth Rollins on the concrete. Ambrose hops the guardrail and exits through the crowd as Rollins is left laying by the ringside area. And it leaves you wondering. And guess what, guys? Next week, I'm interested in Monday Night Raw, something that I haven't been able to say in quite some time. So I definitely think that this is something that we can appreciate and something that we will be happy to see in the near future with this show. Give me your take on everything, guys. What do you think about Monday Night Raw at this point? I'd be very interested to hear your thoughts on it, because it's crazy with everything that's happening at this very moment on Monday Night Raw. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, the show was so boring, but with all this drama and everything else that came up from it, it makes things a little bit more interesting, in my opinion. That's just me, though. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking the wrong way about it, but I don't know. Raw became more interesting with this. We only have an Intercontinental champ. What's going to happen with the tag belts? We have no Universal champion. We don't know who's going to turn. What are the plans? Who's the next big person to get pushed if Roman's out? Nobody knows. We also have SmackDown tonight, guys. Don't forget. Live in the UK next week. Oh, yes, Flood, you are correct about that. And that'll be very cool. This is the BCW Arena, too, by the way, guys, if you haven't seen this. I know I was slacking with a lot of talking before on the gameplay. So, we also have the Usos versus Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles tonight. So it looks like there'll be a rematch of that. Rey Mysterio will be on Miz TV if you're watching SmackDown Live. Rusev versus Aiden English. Fallout of Charlotte and Becky Lynch's altercation from last week. Mandy Rose versus Naomi. We got a lot of stuff happening, and it'll lead to... Wow, that was a quick match. Yeah, I have no idea, Flood. Very confused. So we have that. I'm also hyped for NXT this week. We're going to find out who attacked Aleister Black, and we're going to try and talk about whatever we can and cover as much as we can, guys. I just wanted to let you guys know that I appreciate you guys who took the time to come in here, check it out. Before you leave, guys, do me a favor. Make sure you leave a like on this video, comment down below. I'm going to try and do these a little bit more frequently and hopefully have more content and have everything planned out a little bit better for you guys, so that way you guys can check out the game and everything else. WWE 2K19 so far, I think it's a great game and everyone should check it out. Monday Night Raw is going to be very interesting, and I tell you guys this as well. Make sure that you guys have a heart. Be nice to someone today. Be kind to people for whatever reason. And don't forget about Roman Reigns and his situation. I feel really bad for him. I hope he gets better. And I'm just going to end this video by saying, thank you, Roman.